Hi, Robin with Oxy-Dry, and I'm going to do a short video here. Somebody had asked me, made a comment about any tips on cord management, so I thought I'd just run through some basics on that and show you guys a couple of things. So Saturday, and we still got major fires going on in my area here, and normally there's mountains over here. Can't see them because the smoke is so thick. And I took my Uplander out for a little jaunt this morning, and it was just covered in ash. So we got a lot of ash falling down, and so air quality is very poor around here these days. Anyway, so let's talk about cord management. First thing is, one thing I would like to recommend to you guys is definitely a really good idea is to get make your machine so that you can detach your cord really easily. There's lots of reasons for that, and I've addressed that a couple of times, but it'll just make your life easier. Sometimes you want to quickly move your machine, and you can just disconnect the cord at the machine and move it away. That's one reason anyway. So anyway, I would recommend you do that. But the first thing is, when you're going to go to use the machine, I would recommend that you unravel the cord. Don't just leave it in a pile on the floor, because that's when you tend to get tangles and things like that. So just unroll the cord, have it all ready to pull behind you, and ideally you want to try to plug in a position, if possible, so that you will always work away from your source of power. Now, that's not always possible, but that's the general rule of thumb. I know that a lot of guys are coming into using these type of machines with a background in doing steam cleaning, and normally when you're using hot water extraction, the way you do it is, of course, you're going to position your, if you're coming in the front door of the truck mount and pulling your hose in, you're going to go to the farthest point that you're going to be reaching for cleaning, and then you work your way backwards, kicking the hoses behind you as you go. And same thing if you're using a portable. You normally are going to reach to the furthest point and then work backwards. Now, that's not the ideal way to use the rotary, because, well, you don't need to, and you ideally want to be working forward. It's easier to do that. You're not going to run over your cord that way and have to deal with the cord. And plus, you can see as you're working across the room, across the area, you're looking ahead of you all the time, scanning the carpet, looking for spots or stains and soiled areas, and it just gives you a better visual on the carpet as you're doing it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to kind of just pretend that I'm going to run the machine on here, and I'm going to pretend as if this was a typical rectangular room, and there's a couple of ways I could do it, whereas I could just kind of go all the way back and forth as I go forward, because I'm going to be swinging, being a swing machine. They actually work best if you do a back and forth motion with them. Just sort of walk, as you walk, you go left and right, right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot. That's usually the more efficient way to use it. There's not a rule. That's just what I've learned over the years. And I don't recommend you swing it too far, because if you do that all day long, that additional movement that you're doing, the further you swing it, the more you actually are going to put stress on your back and your body. So just bear that in mind. So if this was a rectangular room, here's how I would typically do it. Oh, I'm just running it dry. So I'm going to go work my way left and right, working my way say across the room, and the cord is now following behind me. See, I don't usually, like I could go way over here, but that's stretching. I mean, you don't really want to do that all day long. So I just let it, this is just a very natural feeling movement that I'm doing. On my right foot, now my left foot, step with the right foot, step with the left foot, and I can overlap, of course, but the purpose of this video is just to show you guys how I'm going to be dealing with the cord, which is following behind me. Oh, look at that, see? Just following me. Okay, now there's a couple of ways I can deal with getting to the end of the room, and here's how I typically do it. I'll turn to the right, and maybe go this way across the room, over to the other wall here, and then I might do this, and then work my way back, overlapping. So I've come up to about here, overlapping, but I'm not having to trip over my cord, and you see, cord's over to the right side now because it followed me along that side of the room. Go back to the beginning, and then basically do the same thing over here, working my way along. Nice and simple, nice and easy. Now the cord's out of my way all the time, that way. Now occasionally, depending on the situation that I'm dealing with, I might work my way across the room, like so. I'll just do it quickly here. And sometimes I'll actually go right back and do it this way. But I'm always conscious of where that power cord is, because it will interfere with my cleaning. It's in the way if I don't, think about it. Because if I was to, for example, do what a lot of guys do, whereas you start way over here. Now I'm going to go backwards. Now look what's happening. The cord's right at my feet. So the only way I can get rid of it, I have to grab the cord and fling it behind me and keep doing that. And the further you are away, the more cord you've got to deal with, and the more it'll interfere with your movements. Like it's right at my feet again. I can kick it behind me with my heel, and there's situations where you run into where you end up having to do that anyway. But ideally, you want to be working away from where you've plugged in, if at all possible. So just bear that in mind. Your source, wherever your power is coming in, say if this is the entrance to the room, I've plugged in over there. I ideally want to work away from the power cord and try to avoid at all costs of having to deal with running into it like this, because you can easily grab that cord and it can wrap around the machine, and that's happened to me many times, I can tell you, or it jams up between the drive plate and the machine, and it'll cut through the cord very rapidly, and that has happened many times to me. So just try to think it through a little bit, and you make your life a lot easier. Work smarter, not harder. You know the drill. It'll make sense. Once you do it a little bit, you'll all get the hang of it, and it'll make sense. So anyway, I thought I'd just post that for you guys and give you a little real basic understanding of how to use the rotary. I know there's some guys that have never used a rotary before, and some of us guys have been around for a long time. Sometimes these things seem to be obvious, but we learn by doing it, and so I'm trying to teach some of you new guys stuff that we've us older guys have learned over the years, and hopefully it'll just make your what you're doing easier and simpler, and you'll be able to go out there and earn a good living using your faithful, trusty, dependable, simple rotary. So anyway, have a good day, and I'll let you go now.